OverDose vapes. Keep your coils tight. Keep your wicks wet. If you're looking for new flavors, all about the clouds, bro. Filling up a clear road, we're dripping on the sub-ohm. Reviews for the juice while traffic jobs post viewed on YouTube and prepare for overdose.
Hello, welcome back to OverDose Vapes. This is Travis, and today we're taking a look at a little pod system. As you may or may not know, Nic salts are all the rage in my home and maybe yours. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things to happen in vaping, high milligram Nic salt e-liquids, and in order to enjoy those Nic salt e-liquids with the high milligrams, we need a little pod system, right? Or some kind of mouth-to-lung system that allows us to enjoy these Nic salts in a safe and practical way. So a lot of companies have thrown their hat in the ring, and we've had a lot of pods of varying qualities, and Ijoy decided to throw their hat in the ring. This is the lanyard, this is not the pod, this is the pod, and this is the Ijoy AI pod system. So let's go up close, and we're going to check it out real quick, and then I will tell you what I think about it. Now, there's not a lot to look at, of course, because it is just a pod system, but yeah, then we'll talk about it. We're back. Okay, as you saw, you charge it here on the bottom. It's got a built-in 450 milliamp hour battery. Not a ton, but enough to get the job done. That was a rhyme, unintentional, but I'm keeping it. So, yeah, so there are, some benefits to this pod system, and the lanyard is not really one of them. I do like the lanyard, actually, and I have given this to Panda, and she uses the lanyard quite a bit. It's kind of harkens back to the old school days of when we used to use lanyards for our, ego pin setups and stuff. So it's kind of funny to go back in that direction. And this thing does actually work really well. It's got a nice little rubber end piece here that you slide over your pod. And yeah, we like it. We think it's kind of cool. So I love the aesthetics of this pod as well. As you saw, it's really clean. Some really nice lines. It has a really nice satin finish to it. The pod itself is really nice see-through black plastic here. It comes in different colors as well. We have the black one, but you can also get it in red and blue, etc. The pod is easy to change. It's easy to fill. Yeah, it does a lot of things right. But when it comes to pods, I really think the most important thing, there's two really important things: flavor saturation and air draw, right? Like airflow. And this does one of those things really well. I think that it has pretty decent flavor saturation. Let me take a toke off it. Yeah, it has a pretty decent flavor saturation. I've had better, but I've also had much, much worse. So you definitely can taste the e-liquid that you're vaping, and that's a pretty big thing. Now, it's crazy to say that, right? But surprisingly, pod systems, by and large, it's hit or miss when it comes to can you even taste the liquid that you're vaping. And a lot of times the answer is no to that question. But with the AI pod from Ijoy, you definitely do get a pretty decent flavor from it. Now, the second thing I said was important is airflow. Now, with these kind of devices, with high milligram salt nic e-liquids, I want my mouth-to-lung to be tight, a tight mouth-to-lung draw. And this just has too much airflow. And it's not too much airflow that you're getting giant hits. It's just kind of a loose airflow that you're just not, it's just not hooking up the way that it should, right? You're not getting that nice warm vape that you should be getting from a mouth to lung. This is more just like kind of like it's like a prolonged experience where you end up with more air in your lungs than anything else. I'll give you an example, okay? So we're going to start vaping it right now. It took far too long, and it was an uncomfortable experience to get that vape. It's just too loose. It's not like it has a ton of airflow per se. It's just that the airflow it has is too loose, right? It doesn't have that nice, like, shut down mouth to lung feel to it that I think is really integral to having a really positive, pod system experience. This one is okay in most aspects, but I find myself being frustrated by it because I feel like I'm not getting the kind of vape I want from it, which is a nice, warm, quick mouth-to-lung vape. Yeah, that's a pretty big negative, to me at least. Let me know below if you've had a chance to use the old AI pod from Ijoy, or how you prefer your mouth-to-lungs, your pod systems. Do you like a more loose airflow? Do you like a more locked down mouth-to-lung experience? Let me know below. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think that all things being equal, I'll probably give it a 3. I don't think it's terrible. It's just not something that I would personally go out and buy. This was sent by Heaven Gifts, and I appreciate that very much that they sent this out. But it's not something that I would buy. If we lost it, I wouldn't replace it. There's a lot of pods on the market right now. A lot. There's a lot of really good options, and I think that in order to get my attention, you have to be doing something at least as well as your competition. There's very little room for mistakes. There's very little room for imperfection in this market right now because we have so many good options. And I could name, right off the top of my head, I could name 10 pods that I would probably rather have than the Ijoy AI pod. Now again, it's very sleek, it's very beautiful, it has a really nice aesthetic, but that airflow is a deal killer for me. So yeah, one more toke. Yeah, that's a no-go. It's just frustrating. We give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's average. It does some things good, like I said, like the flavor saturation and aesthetics are nice, but the airflow is just a no-go for me. So take that for what you will. Maybe you like a looser air draw. I don't. It is what it is. I really want to say thank you to Heaven Gifts for sending this out. I really, really appreciate it. Go ahead and check out Heaven Gifts. They have a new YouTube channel. I will leave a link below. Check them out. They're doing some pretty funny stuff and some pretty informative stuff. Heaven Gifts just celebrated their 11th anniversary of being in this industry, and that's a huge, huge milestone. So check out their YouTube channel. They're doing sales and stuff all the time as well. Make sure you keep an eye on the Heaven Gifts space. And yeah, really appreciate them sending this out. So until next time, please keep your coils tight. We'll see you then.